Hi, and welcome to Master Certified Food Service Professional Training and Certification Examination. The certification is owned by the Global Food Service Institute at the State University of New York at Morrisville. Training presented by me, Ed Manley of E.H. Manley and Associates, and we work in cooperation with Pearson Learning Solutions, the world's largest workforce development provider. And previously I've been doing a similar certification with a similar name, but I changed organizations, so we changed up the test and changed up the name. And the good news is the test is still difficult, but only 150 questions instead of 200. So the suffering lasts a little bit shorter time. We have these certification patches that are available for sale. They're, I don't know, $5 or $6, something like that. And there's a pin that looks something similar, which is available. Uh, Ignore the R&DA part on there. They was working with that group for a while, and then they decided to go in a different, or not to go in this path anyway. And I already paid for the pins and the patches, so not inclined to change that up at this moment. The important part being the Master Certified Food Service Professional, MCFP. Just like in college, I teach, you learn, you take the test, you pass. That's the way it works. So I always tell people this course and the book that goes with it doesn't, it's not gone with the wind. It doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It just goes from subject to subject to subject. And as my friend, the restaurant Dr. Bill Marvin said, it's everything you need to know to run a restaurant. So we're kind of covering in not exactly a particular order. We're just going through the examination, which we believe is the key things you need to know to run a restaurant. So let's get right started with what is Russian table service. That's food served by waiters from platters. Now, why do you need to know this kind of stuff? Well, what if you're interviewing for a job and they say, listen, we do Russian table service here. Are you familiar with that? Oh man, I'm really fast. No, not rushing table service, Russian table service. So food is, so you should be able to at least fake your way through. Oh, of course, was served by a platter. Oh yeah, I've done that for years. Even if you haven't, at least you have a sense of it and you can always learn. So, what's American style service? That's where the server takes the order, chefs in the kitchen plate the food, and the waiter serve the food. That's American table service. What's English table service? Similar to Russian on the same platter, but the platters are placed on the table and the guests serve themselves. Sometimes called farm style or family style. In American style service, you serve from what side? Serve from the left side with your left hand, and you clear from what side? The right side with your right hand. And you pour beverages from the right side. And why is that? Because that's where the glasses are. Why does it matter what side you serve from? Who cares? Just serve from any. Well, there is some logic to it. Most people are left-handed, and so you're clearing from the right because if the right hand is busy eating, then you don't want to clear. Something like that. Why does it matter? It matters because your customers know what's proper. They watch TV, they read Miss Manners, and they have a lot of them, more sophisticated anyway, certainly know that you're not supposed to just jump at them from any angle. And so they'll judge whether you know what you're doing based on their own level of knowledge and then your level. You don't want to give the guests the impression that you're rushing them out the door, even if you are. Got people waiting, you'd like to get them the heck out of there. But you do want them to have a clean, decent-looking place in front of them, so you should clear away dirty plates, bread and butter plates, dessert plates when they're finished, empty glasses, and leave the partially full glasses, leave the coffee cups, and do that before presenting the check. And then when you do present the check, you could say, when you're ready, take your time, but when you're ready, rush, 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 get out of here. Place the utensils on the table in the order the courses are on your menu, so the first course would be further out. So where does the dinner fork go, left or right? Dinner fork goes to the left of the dinner plate. How about the salad fork? Goes to the left of the dinner fork. What about the knife? Goes to the right of the dinner plate with the cutting edge facing the plate. How about the soup spoon? That would go to the right of the dinner plate, outside of the knife. Table centerpieces should not block people from seeing each other across the table. They're there for an experience, the customers that is, part of which is conversing with your table mates, so you don't want to have a big tree in the middle so that you can't see your person that's talking across the way. So they should accent the whole table and not be the table. Centerpieces should accent the table, not be the table. Should not take away from the meal. Use fruit, flowers, small decoration pieces, which are both pretty and blend in. Nothing prettier than a room full of gorgeously decorated tables. So put some attention to that. Your customer knows what they want to eat. They come in, okay, I'll have my usual green beans, mashed potatoes, and Delmonico steak. What should you do? Take the order. What do a lot of people want to do? Why do a lot of people miss this question? Because they want to sell them something else. Oh, you must be bored. Why don't you try this? You had that 15 times in a row. Try this. What's the problem there? Is you may not like that item. So they're coming in. Obviously, they like that item. Keep selling it to them as long as they want to buy it. You change them out. Say, hey, why don't you try this new thing we have? Then they might not like it. So I'm not saying if they say what do you suggest? Well, why don't you have the same thing you had 20 times? No, I'm just saying if they're just convinced, they just come in and say, let me have my usual. Don't argue with them, just give it to them. How much space is needed per person in a banquet hall? So if you had 1,500 square foot banquet hall, how many people could you put in it? Well, that's the question. You would allow 10 square feet per person. So if you had a 1,500 square foot ballroom, you could put 150 people in it. If you don't know that, then you'll do all of your specs for your new catering hall that you're putting up based on you're going to get 200 people to your banquets, and that's the way you price out your whole program, your business plan. And then you find out, shoot, we can't get 200 people in here. We can only get 150. So, very important that you know that. Casual restaurant, would you expect more space? Yes, because in a banquet hall, people are used to being smushed in, and pretty much everybody's coming at the same time, leaving at the same time. Whereas casual restaurant, you got people coming and going. You got tables for 2, tables for 4, tables for 6. So, how many would you need for a casual restaurant? That would be 15 to 16 square foot per person. So for 100 people, you'd need 1,500 to 1,600 square feet. And for a fine dining restaurant, would you expect more or less? You would expect more. 22 to 24 feet per person, because they paid a lot of money. They don't want to have their neighbor's conversation blasted into their ear. They don't want to be bumped. Maybe you have table-side service in a fine dining restaurant, so you're going to just need more space to get around, and you're going to have probably more waiters and service staff. So for fine dining, you'd need 2,200 to 2,400 square feet for 100 people. So you have a banquet coming to your place tonight, and they tell you to set up the buffet. How many lines do you need? Depends on how many people you got coming. So one for every 50 to 75 guests. So if you have 400 guests coming, how many would you set up? 400 divided by 50 would be 8. 400 divided by 75 would be 5.3, but you can't set up a third of a buffet, so you'd have to set up 6. So uh, that would be 6 or 8. So which one are you going to do, 6 or 8? Depends on what's on the menu. Are the people stuffing their own tacos? Are they putting together a hamburger? So you got to get the bun, the burger, and the lettuce, and the tomato, and the pickle. It's going to take time, right? Or are they just grabbing a steak, a baked potato, and some green beans, and they're off and running? How much are you charging? It costs you more to have um, more buffet setups, right? Because the food has to look just as good 10 minutes before the deal ends as it did in the beginning. For those people coming through, they can't see nothing left, so you're going to have to waste some food, keep them looking nice. So it costs you more, so you need to charge more. How much space do you have? Can you fit 8 of them? Or can you only fit 6? In which case, the people are just going to have to take longer in the line. What's the agenda for the meeting? If you got the governor coming in to talk, you don't want people standing in the buffet line while the governor's up speaking. So in that case, you would want to have more serving lines so that you can get the guests through faster. Maybe the pain in the buttness of the person that's booking the party. Ma'am, I can see you're going to be a pain, so I think we'll have 8 buffet lines so the people go through fast. I have to charge you a little more for that because I'm going to have to waste some food so that all of your guests see a nice laid out buffet line. What is a scramble system? Customers have the option to select from different foods in different areas of the cafeteria, so we're not all standing in line behind each other. If you want burgers, you go off to the left. If you want salad bars, you go off to the right. If you want entrees, you go to the middle. And what that does is it allows you to serve customers more efficiently, so you don't have somebody who's just grabbing a hot dog waiting behind someone who's waiting for their sandwich to be made. So how can you increase the ability to serve customers in the same amount of time in your cafeteria? You would put in a scramble system. The first concern of a restaurant owner should be that he or she is providing quality food to their customers. If you do that, then the money and everything else just works itself out. But it's got to be your primary, that your customer had a great experience, had quality food when they came to your restaurant. In most restaurants, nobody actually speaks with the guest. They speak at the guest. Here's the specials. Want some water? My name's Fred. Everything okay? As they fly by. More in-depth information will be gained by having the manager ask for feedback. So speak with the guest. That's better than surveys, better than forms. Is for the manager to go around and actually talk to the guest, not just do the flyby of "How you doing?" and then they're gone. Not all guests are happy guests. Some get there mad, they stay mad, so anything negative that happens for you is going to set them off into a tirade, even though what you guys did might be just some minor thing. When that happens with a steady customer, first thing you should do is empathize with their feelings. Mr. Jones, you come in here all the time, and normally you're happy, and I understand why you'd be unhappy. I'd be unhappy too if that happened to me. So how can we fix the situation? So that's going to work better than if you just go in there and say, well, here, let me give you a coupon. Next time you come back, we'll give you a free meal or 20% off. It's like you're blowing them off. So you want the guests to feel that you understand what they're saying, that you appreciate their concern, and that you don't think they're whiny, crabby people. They just have a legitimate concern, and then you can fix the problem.